Hey guys, I was going to go ahead and try to do an update slash get ready with me. I know that it's been so long since I updated you guys, and I'm really sorry for that. It's been a little bit crazy, which I will explain through this video, and let's get into it. So I also use all cruelty-free makeup. I still have some items left over before I was aware of that type of thing. So I do still have some products left over, but I currently do not buy anything tested on animals pretty much. So I'm a lot more aware of it now, and so I will not buy it. But I might as well use the products that I still have, so I'm gonna have to find some freaking dupes because there's a few of these that I really want to rebuy, but I'm not going to. So I have the MAC paint pot here. It comes in this little pot here, and I have it in the shade Soft Ochre. I match it to my skin tone here as close as it can because I use this as a base for my eyeshadows as well as covering up acne spots when I get to doing my face routine. I have my mirror here, so I'm gonna try and pretty much what I'm doing is just covering my entire lid with a good amount because this is what's really gonna help you blend your shadows. So I always start with my shadows first for the most part, just because if I have any fallout, it'll fall onto my face here, and I can just take a brush or a makeup remover wipe and I can clean that up like it, no problem. And then as far as shadows, I'm going to be using the Tartelette Toasted palette because this one is awesome. I would totally buy this again. The pigments on it are so good and so easy to blend. As you can see, I have used this quite a bit. So as you can see, there are matte shades and sparkly shades. So basically you can do multiple looks with this. The more shadow that you have on your eye, it will make it that much easier to blend, but you do have to be careful because if you put too much, then you're gonna get muddy, and that is not cute on anyone. So I'm gonna go ahead and start putting on the shade S'more in the palette. It is just this neutral matte here, and I always have two brushes. I have one blending brush, which is a round fluffy brush, as you can see, and this one actually came with the Tartelette Toasted, so I figured might as well since it's made for it. And they match, and it's super cute. So I have that, and then depending on what shadow I'm going to use, this one is a Sephora brush, angle eyeshadow brush. So it's just this little slanted brush here. So since I'm going to be using the lightest shade, I do it that way just so that it is an extra layer that you can't see. I'm really just packing it on. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into my medical update. Everyone kind of knows my history if you've watched my videos, my previous videos. There's this little hummingbird on the very top of my palm tree in my patio, and he's just kicking it. He's been here for like at least 20 minutes. It's like doing little chirps. Oh, it's so cute. Distracted much. Okay, so basically I was diagnosed with lupus and having an autoimmune disease and that type of thing, but it's still kind of been like a gray area. So not this December, like a month ago, but the December before that, I all of a sudden had my half of my face and scalp went numb. So it went straight down this way here, straight down my nose, all the way over under my eye, up, and in about 2 or 3 inches into my scalp, all the way from here. So I was just like, oh, it's probably just like a side effect or something, you know, because I do have a lot of side effects from all the medications and procedures and all that bullshit. And then I realized that the vision in my right eye started to decline like bad, like it was so blurry. So at that point I was like, shit, I need to go to the ER. And I remember I posted on Instagram, I was like, has anyone ever had this? Like, And literally, like, every DM was like, you need to go to the doctor. And I was like, no. But I went. I go to the ER. I see a doctor there, and I described everything that had been going on, obviously. And he's like, I've never seen a patient with this. And he's like an older doctor, so he's obviously had a lot of patients and seen a lot in the ER. He was able to pull up a diagram of like the facial nerves that I described, and it was like textbook. Like, he was even like, this is exactly what is going on. So he didn't know how to treat it, so he told me to go to my neurologist as well as my optometrist because of the vision. And he actually, it was pretty crazy because it was really late at the ER, and he was able to get this like machine thing that like could roll around and stuff. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about, but anyways, he got like a neurologist on the video robot thing from across the country, and she kind of assessed me and said the same thing about, you know, I need to go to my doctors. So I went to my doctors. My optometrist didn't know how to treat it. I went to my normal neurologist. He didn't know how to treat it. So then I was like, what the hell, you know? And the optometrist also worked at UC Irvine, which is a teaching hospital in Orange County. And they're like a whole nother ball game in an awesome way, because they have all of the equipment, they have everything that they need. They have I have like a team of doctors that I have, like obviously my neuro-ophthalmologist is who I see, and basically he is obviously very educated and just such a nice man. And they did some testing on my eyes. My optic nerves were so inflamed, but there is like a chart that shows where my normal graph thing would be. Like, it should be on a graph of like where I'm at, and mine wasn't even on the graph. It was way too high. All right, this is a little bit confusing, but I'm gonna try and explain it the best that I can. So this was the first visit to UC Irvine to see my neuro-ophthalmologist. And as you can see where I am, that's where a normal person's line should be on these types of graphs. And then if you look at the highlighted yellow, mine is barely even on the graphs. So the doctors were super worried. It was very, very dangerous. So they did a draining of my brain pressure, and I'm on a ton of medication to try and release some of the brain pressure. So that's kind of where I'm at. And if you look up at my eyes, you can tell that it's very inflamed and should be in the circle there. And then if we look on the fourth visit, you can see where my graph is now, where it's way better where it should be as far as my eyes. Look at the circles. So it's definitely an improvement. Obviously, they were worried about what was going on, and they diagnosed me with having IIH, which is idiopathic intracranial hypertension. So basically, the pressure in my brain is way too high. So they did an emergency procedure to go ahead and drain my fluid to where it should be, because they were thinking because the fluid was so high that it was pushing onto my optic nerves. That's basically what was going on with that. So I go in to get that done. A normal person's brain pressure is 10 to 15 max, and when they went into mine, it was 60, as in 60. So it was extremely, extremely dangerous. Fucking little cute. The little hummingbird's still there. Keeps doing his little chirps too. So they they drained it down to 20, because if they put it down to 10 or 15 max, my body would basically go into shock. I was going to UCI like every other day for a while, just because they said if it wasn't treated quickly that it would become permanent. So obviously they were trying to get me in. I'm just going in with a clean, fluffy brush just to really blend out the two colors. When you think you're done blending, keep blending, because it can never get too blended, you know? So I always make it a big point to keep blending, blending, blending. they ended up putting me on a really heavy medication that would help with my brain pressure. So I have to take it like 3 times a day. It has crazy ass side effects. It's actually a medication that they said that they use it for like people who go climb like Everest so that your brain pressure won't, flip out when you're up that high or something. So it's kind of meant for that, but they don't want me to be on it long term because it is quite an intense medication to be on. It's been helping here and there. My vision is still very poor, but at least my eyes are back onto the chart, which is awesome. Still not good, but it's not horrible like it was. I'm pretty sure that this is as good as my eyes are gonna get, because I can just tell it's not gonna go back, which is fine. It's a lot of adapting anyways. It makes me extremely tired. I have horrible migraines to the point where it's like I can't sleep unless I have like ice packs on my head. Even just like going to do stuff, even if I want to go to Target just to pick up like necessities, it's like I'll come home and have to get in bed for the rest of the day kind of. I'm just like so ready to get like myself and my life back. I keep envisioning myself being healthy and really focusing on that just to put the intention out there. So if they decide that they don't want to keep me on the medication for it, there is talk that I might have to get a shunt put in, so it would drain my brain pressure down through my organs and flush it out that way. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. So obviously I cannot drive still. It's been close to 2 years now, just because, especially with my vision, it's weird. It's like my depth perception is super messed up. Like even riding in the car, it doesn't matter who it is, I'm always like, because I feel like we're gonna like hit them even though we're not, and like my friends make fun of me for it. But I can't help it. My pain management doctor, he ended up putting me on a pain patch because I just have still been in chronic pain, which is every minute of every day, my entire body. He ended up putting me on a pain patch just to try and keep like my pain at a more stagnant versus like having to orally take the pills around the clock, because I would time it. Like I'd wake up, I'd take a narcotic and get into the bath to try and like help ease my pain. Like I have a morning routine, and then like my joints are really messed up, so I like the warm water helps when I put my hands in it, and also my body. And then like I knew that I would have to take another in like 2.5 hours, and then another, and it's like, so I literally like memorized exactly when I needed to take it, because like that's how much I know my body now because of all of that. So he does have me on a pain patch. It definitely helps. It doesn't take the pain away, but it's definitely something that's been nice just to try and, I'm really gonna focus on having a dark outer part here. And what you can do is put on a good amount of the product, and then we're gonna take that brush again, the fluffy brush with no product, and then really blend it out. But I want to go ahead and stay generally in this outer part here, because if I like start blending it all the way to the inner corner, it's gonna start creating a shape that I'm not really going for right now. And when you blend stuff out, it tends to make things a little bit lighter than like initially when I put it on. And then I'm gonna go back in with that same dark shade and pack it in again on the outer corners until I get that dimension that I really want. I just go in windshield wiper motions and throw like little circles. I'm gonna take the paint pot again, and then I'm going to get a brush here. So I'm gonna take it on a brush, and I'm gonna really carve out my lid just so that it looks a little bit more crisp. This palette smells like chocolate, and it smells so good. I love when makeup smells good. Of course, there's a fire truck, which is like the loudest fucking thing that could be happening. I'm gonna go ahead and do some liner. Let's go ahead and do the Trooper Black by Kat Von D. I might not put this on there. I used to be someone who did makeup every day. I didn't even care to like wake up for like work or school like an hour early just to do my makeup because I just love it that much. And now I probably only do my makeup 2 or 3 times a month, which is heartbreaking. But I'm really gonna try and get back on it because it truly is a big passion of mine. So I'm just doing the top lashes right now because I haven't done the under eye shadow. I'm gonna do my foundation really quick. My mouth is always so dry from my medication, and it literally makes me sound so stupid. It's like I can't get it out, but in my mind I can. This is the Kat Von D True Portrait Liquid to Powder Foundation, and my shade is Light 006. The packaging is kind of cute, but I wasn't really in love with this at first. I do like that it is a much lighter foundation for the days that you don't really want to do like a full coverage, full face. So it's definitely an odd formula, the liquid to powder. I don't know if I'm that into it. I'm just going to continue my face really fast so that I don't lose all my light. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do brows. I'm also going to just do this really quick because I am losing my light, but I am using the Kat Von D Super Brow, and I am wearing the shade Medium Brown. Okay, I'm going to go back in with the same shades here to do my under eye. I always tap off everything because if you have that much product, it's so hard to take makeup off. It's so hard to take makeup off versus applying more. So I always definitely would like to build up versus having too much product on my face, because that's when it tends to get muddy. If you guys want to know the actual shades of this, I can post it. Just let me know. It's so weird because I feel like with my sickness, it's like I've gotten so used to my body not like being healthy. It's crazy because like the mental aspect of this is like, honestly right now it's harder than the physical, just because it's like I've been going through this for like over 3 years now. I'm just having a really hard time because I feel like I just kind of like, I was graduated with my license and then was working in a salon, and then I feel like everything just kind of slipped away in an instant. But I try and look at it, you know, in different views, which helps because it's like I had a dog that I had to put down like about a year ago, and man, she was my baby. Like, I still cry about her because she was 15. I'm just so thankful that I was able to spend that time with my dog, because if I was still working, I wouldn't have ever had the time with her within the last few years, you know, like I did, getting to really just be together to help each other get through things. And I pretty much just blend the edges. Like, I'm not going through all the way up because then it's going to pull off some of the color that you had applied. So it's mainly just on the outside. I'm going to go in with just a black paint pot. Yeah, Maybelline. I don't know even if I'm going to do lashes, honestly. I'm going to take this on Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is actually a stick foundation, I believe, and I use it for contour. So I'm going to go ahead and just carve out exactly where I'm going to go from the top ear down to the corner of the mouth. And I like my contour like very dramatic. I'm going to leave this edging here and just blend upwards because I kind of like having that, crispness. And I know this isn't for everyone, but this is just how I like to do my makeup. It's fun just to play around, you know, like try different things. I don't do this every time, but it definitely is my thing. So I didn't even mention having the IIH diagnosis. It is completely separate from my autoimmune. First I was like, man, this is just taking over my body and I don't know what to do. And then once the doctors told me that it has nothing to do with it, I'm like, great, so I have to deal with a second diagnosis now. But just gotta keep going. Leave it to Karen. And then sometimes when I think it looks a little harsh, like it does right now, I'll take my foundation brush and kind of go over and correct how strong I want my contour. So as you can see here, I did it on this side. And then this side I need to do, obviously. So same mascara and put it on the bottom. Do a second coat. I'm not going to do lashes because I'm going to lose my light. So I'm just going to give it another coat. Blush. I'm going to do this little sample of the Makeup Forever. I freaking love this blush. This is a little MAC blonde streak. It's just a little highlight here, so I'm going to take that and just do a little inner corner. I usually will spray my glitters or my shimmers. We'll do under the brow bone too. Okay, I'm going to be taking the MAC pigment color, and this is in, I think, vanilla. Yes, vanilla. This is my Ride or Die highlighter. Do a little bit subtle. I'm not looking for like blinding today. And then of course we're gonna go through and blend it out. Blend, blend, blend. Oh, I hear a little kitty. Right, hold on, I'm almost done. I'm also gonna make a video that goes over all of my like chronic pain items that are supposed to help. Because I have so much of that, just trying to get any relief so I can tell you guys like what has worked for me and what hasn't. So I'm hopefully going to try and film that one next. And then I'm going to go in with the Kat Von D Metal Crush, and this is in Gamma Ray. It's this really pretty like pink corally gold. And then I just take a little brush like this for this one, right over that highlight that I just did. Very, very subtle. I get so many compliments when I wear this out. My sister got it too once she saw how pretty this was. And she gets a lot of compliments too, even like when I've been with her and has that. She has like all the colors, and I'm like, okay, I taught you how to do makeup. How is your collection like owning over mine? Oh. Gotta love her. And I'm probably just gonna take my fingers and just kind of do a very light blend of that. And let's do our lipstick, and then I believe we will be done. Lipstick. I guess I'll just use that. I don't want to mess it up though. For Christmas, my sister bought me the Jeffree Star Cosmetics lipstick. Open here for nudes. How do I get it open? So this is all of the nude shades that Jeffree has. He has a couple different ones, but this is the set. How many of these are in there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's perfect because like I don't wear as much lipstick anymore. They'll just go bad. So these little ones are perfect, and then you can try like anything. Leo is like my favorite color. We'll just do Leo. It's so itty bitty. It's so cute. I love mini things. Oh, how cute. I love messy hair. I like purposely mess it up. Anyway, so that concludes my get ready with me and kind of an update. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will be seeing you soon. Hummingbird is back. Oh, he's so sweet. I just want to like adopt him. Can't believe he's been here this long. You coming up? Here, look. This is Professor Meowington. He is my baby man. He's a big boy though. I remember I had gotten a DoorDash one time, and there was this guy, and he's like, "Whoa, you got a raccoon for a pet?" Me and my friend were like, "No, it's a cat." And he was like, "What? He's really big for a cat." Which, when he does like run, he like scurries because his legs are so short that he runs like a little raccoon. And then the guy goes, "Oh, what? You got a rabbit too?" I don't know what that guy was freaking smoking, but it was hilarious. I just wanted to go ahead and end this little video, my get ready with me and update on my medical status. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will be seeing you soon. That hummingbird is so cute. I wish you could see him. Oh, I love him. I don't know why, but I do. I name him Piccolo.